Hello Gearspace, this is Thomas from Neuzeit Instruments, and today I have the honor to explain to you our new prototype of the Quasar. The Quasar is a 3D audio mixer where you can mix two audio inputs to a stereo field output. And we as humans, we are not only able to distinguish between left and right, like in a classic stereo panning, we also can distinguish front and back, and if a sound is coming from the top or from the low position, or if it's far away or very close to us. And this is what Quasar enables you to do. So basically it's an audio mixer. You have two audio inputs. These are mainly good for mono inputs, and we have two positions, Quasar 1 and Quasar 2, I call them Quasar, where you can route these audio inputs to. So this part belongs together. This is a small menu, and wherever we are, the encoders have different functions. So I'm in the menu now where I can route, for example, the input 1 to Quasar 1, to the position 1. And I dialed in, let's say, 55% is a good value. Then I go to the next one and I dial that down. We are sending like 0% to the second position and 100% to the center position, for example. The center position goes through without any processing. And we have also a low-pass, high-pass filter before every send. So, for example, I can send only the low frequencies to the center position, and only the higher frequencies let those travel around our head, so that my bass drum, my kick, and my bass all stay nice in the middle, and only the higher frequencies are traveling around and doing fancy stuff. I could also send the same to the second position and let it travel around in another direction to have a more spacey effect. I can do the same for the second input and route that, for example, only to Quasar 2, to the second source. Also have my filters. So basically it's a matrix mixer. When we go to the Quasar menu, that sets the position. So, for example, the right encoder sets the angle in the horizontal plane, also called the azimuth angle, and we can dial between 0 to 360 degrees. It's seamlessly. If you push the encoder, you have a fine resolution. If you release the encoder, it has a coarse resolution. On the left side, we can set the height where the sound is coming from. If it's coming from the low, for example, minus 30 degree up to plus 45 degree, and at the same time, of course, we can let it rotate around. So these are two parameters, two angles of the position, but when we get to the next side, we can also set the distance of perception. So, for example, 0.2 meters, 20 centimeters is the closest we can get. So it appears that the sound source is traveling around our head with only 20 centimeters of distance. And I can turn this up to 1 meter, and then it goes exponentially up to 10 meters of perception. So this is really far away. And we can also dial in a little bit of reverb, for example, room amount, because if we're in the free field, we don't have any reverb, so this is best to set to 0. But if we want to simulate a room, then we can just add a little bit of this. On this next page, there are two parameters for the reverb, damping, and size, so that we can set it to our purpose if we want to be in a cathedral or we want to be in a small room. These are the basic parameters where I set a position, also called the Quasar. And I can do this for the second position as well, which is totally independent of the first position. We're in the modular world, and the modular world means we can do anything without a CV. So we also have two CV inputs, and these can be routed to any parameter we just covered, be it one of the positions, or be it one of the input or the filters of the input. So we can really map every CV to up to 4 targets. For example, I map this one to the angle of the first Quasar. This is a very slow sawtooth LFO, so this rotates automatically the position around our head. I have a menu to set that up. So this is the mapping. For example, here the first target is the angle of Quasar 1. I can dial in between plus and minus 100%. Once again, if I press the encoder, I have a fine resolution. If I release it, I have a coarse resolution of 5%. It's just handy that way. I can make the second target of CV1, for example, the angle of the second position, so it goes just the other way around, or the third and the fourth target, I can choose them as I want. If we are in the default menu and I turn on the sound, these become volume meters. So On the left side of the left encoder, this is the volume of input 1. If I plug this to input 2, we see that it's now on the right side. And on the right encoder, we have the output levels. So if it's more on the right side, it's the right channel is stronger. If the left side, the left channel is stronger. This is because it varies because we are sending our signal just around. The whole module is based on HRTF convolution, and also the reverb is based on convolution. There's actually a lot of calculation going on. It has really a powerful CPU under the hood. And yeah, it's not only meant for Eurorack use, you can also plug in line levels. So as it is a quite computational intensive module, it also makes sense to be used in a studio so that you can outsource this kind of processing from your computer and can lower your CPU usage on the computer. So it also makes sense for normal people who are not in the Eurorack world and just enhance your studio productions. Yeah, I hope I could give you a little bit of an explanation what it does, and stay tuned and stay on gearspace.com. Thank you very much.